the midway point of your fantasy season. You got to make a move, you got to get a win, and you've come to the right place. Hey, how are you? Jason Horowitz with you on the Chase Fantasy Football Series at Stardom Situm. The guys at CBS senior fantasy writer Jamey Eisenberg says to start and who to bench this weekend. Speaking of Jamey, we'll get him in just a sec. But first, just a reminder, don't forget about the bye. 6 teams not playing and some big names will be on the bench. Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, New Orleans, San Francisco, and Tennessee all not playing. So no Mark Bulger or Torrey Holt, no Drew Brees, no Steven Jackson, not even Antonio Bryant. A lot of guys who won't be able to help you this weekend. So, to get guys who will help, we turn to Jamey Eisenberg via satellite from Miami. And Thursday, October 19th, Jamey's 30th birthday. Hey, Jamey, A, happy birthday. B, I got a present for you. I heard you were picked up in a fantasy league this week. How many points are you going to get?
Hopefully I'll get 30 at least. I mean, it's my 30th birthday, so I got to get 30.
What, you going to put the candles on there as well?
You never know. You never know. Burn them up.
All right, Jamey, let's get to the quarterbacks to start, and we'll start right there. And the guys that we have going this week, the 2 guys who used to play at Marshall, Byron Leftwich for the Jaguars, he's playing at Houston, Chad Pennington against Detroit. We'll get more on those in a sec. Let's go to the Situm quarterbacks. Mark Brunell, 2 straight bad weeks for the Redskins quarterback. He will start at Indianapolis. You say sit him, and also Charlie Fry at home against Denver. Remember, the Broncos defense has allowed just 1 touchdown in the first 5 games. Jamey, you know, Byron Leftwich, he's only had 2 games of scoring 2 touchdown passes. You know, they have been the last 2. Why him this week?
Well, obviously because they're playing Houston. I mean, Houston's pass defense is awful. They haven't stopped anybody. You saw Dallas cure their woes last week against Houston. Leftwich is going to get Matt Jones back. He's expected to get Matt Jones back. Reggie Williams has been great. Maybe Mercedes Lewis starts to get involved. I see Jacksonville running the ball a lot, but Leftwich is a guy that certainly has potential to throw, you know, probably 250, maybe 2 touchdowns, and he's always a candidate to maybe run one in.
Yeah, you gotta hope you get running from Leftwich, especially, you know, he hasn't been that hot with his arm this year. All right, let's go to the running backs to start, and we'll go with the Jones boys early. Kevin Jones at the Jets. We've talked about him all week. He's been real good. He catches balls out of the backfield, and the Jets can't stop anybody. Julius Jones Monday night against the Giants, and Edgerrin James at Oakland. He hasn't gotten things going, but Oakland also can't stop anybody, so look for the edge to get going on at Oakland. How about the sit-em running backs? Amon Green, he goes to Miami with the Packers needing a win, and Reuben Drones. We talked about the Denver defense. Once again, this is the Denver defense playing Reuben Drones. Hey, Jamey, you know, those are 2 starting running backs, and in the week of the byes here, you got 6 teams on a bye. When is it okay to sit a starting running back and replace him with a guy who's a backup on another team?
Well, it's okay when they have bad matchups. I mean, you're talking about Amon Green's playing Miami. He's been banged up with a hamstring injury. He hadn't played the 2 previous weeks. He's expected to play, but Miami's defense, the one thing that they have been able to do is stop the run. And Reuben Drones against Denver, I mean, he's facing his former team, but Denver's run defense has been great. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown all season, and Drones in the Cleveland offense hasn't been that great running the ball. So those are 2 guys you want to stay away from. It's a situation where you want to play maybe a guy like Maurice Jones-Drew. Look for another backup, maybe a Brandon Jacobs to sneak in a touchdown. If you're really looking for points and you're desperate to start a guy, you know, Joseph Adai, Dominic Rhodes in Indianapolis.
Yep.
You know, there are other options out there. You know, the 2 New England guys. There are certainly situations where you can find 2 guys on one team that might be better than a starter on that particular team.
All right, let's go to the receivers to start. And, you know, you just talked about Miami. Chris Chambers, he's playing the Packers. The secondary has been awful this year, although they are coming off a bye. But Chris Chambers, you say, is the guy to start. Reggie Brown at Tampa Bay off a great day against the Saints. And we've said sit Joey Galloway in the past. We're going away from that. We're going to start Joey Galloway this week with Bruce Gradkowski being a hot quarterback. How about the sit-em receivers? Eric Moulds for the Texans, home against Jacksonville. That's a matchup once again. And Eddie Kennison against San Diego. You know, Eddie Kennison turned out to be anything this year, really, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think, again, it's been sort of a victim of Trent Green being hurt and Damon Heward sort of looking at other options. The passing game has really suffered, I think, maybe with the change of coordinators, the fact that they're really throwing the ball a lot to Larry Johnson. Even Tony Gonzalez really has been sort of a bust. You know, you got to really stay away from those Kansas City receiving options just simply because they're facing a tough defense and they really haven't gotten going. Looking at the starting receivers, Chris Chambers, he's got a great matchup this week with Green Bay, even with Joey Harrington as his quarterback. And Reggie Brown's certainly been, you know, the best Philadelphia receiver so far, even with Dante Stallworth being out. You know, he's certainly, you know, picked up the slack and done a great job.
And Green Bay got rid of one of its starting corners in Ahmad Carroll a couple weeks ago, so he won't be there either.
True.
All right, Jamey, we're looking for a good week out of you. Happy birthday. But those aren't all the starts and sits. For the rest that Jamey has to say, is also in Dave Richard. Be sure to check on CBS SportsLine throughout the weekend. Jamey, we'll talk to you real soon, and have a great 30th birthday.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, that'll do it for Stardom Cinema exclusively here on CBS SportsLine. But don't forget, check your lineups throughout the weekend here on CBS SportsLine to see all the injury reports, all the updates. Make sure you don't get caught with anybody who's not actually going to play. All right, that'll do it for Stardom Cinema exclusively here on the Chase Fantasy Football Series. Good luck in Week 7. Hopefully the points will flow. Till next time, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.